Right, what's up guys? Welcome, good morning. Today's vlog will be a full day of eating. I want to show you my post-show recovery diet. And as you can see, still very lean. Today, I actually saw my weight scale go up to 230. 5 pounds over my stage weight. So 236.2, which is a decent increase to say this is my third week of the recovery phase. So we are on track with the goals, with the body weight and the rate of gain that needs to be happening for this phase. So plan of action today, I will break down my full diet for you and I will go into detail as to what a diet set should look like and what your goals should be post-diet or post-show. Now, my views on this haven't really changed, but slightly modified. So I'm very much looking forward to showing you the day of eating and giving you some value. So guys, before we get stuck into the video, a lot of you still not subscribed to the channel. So please hit the subscribe button right now. Show me some love, support the channel, and I can give more content back to you guys this way. So let's get stuck into the day. Morning walk completed, now food time. Right guys, so breakfast part number one, we've got 150 egg whites, we've got 75 grams of veg, and I like a mixture of mushroom and peppers. And we have got 3 whole eggs. Whoa, steaming up a little bit. So generally I like the whole large eggs, so that's what we always have. And this is definitely the breakfast staple I've had since 2017. And in the microwave, we do have some cream of rice, which I'll show you. We've got the rice cooker here, which when my rice cooked for the day. Always use a rice cooker, and I always wash the rice as well. So, boom. Now, the day starts with client work and morning walk. So I've already done a lot of client work, but that's the work block number one. I actually have 3 work blocks for today to complete. So breakfast first, and then we'll crack on. Every morning, the second I wake up, I literally go straight into the office and I crank out probably 30 minutes of work. Then I will hydrate, then I will go toilet, weigh myself, go downstairs, prepare some food, and go back upstairs, do 20 minutes more work. So generally I like to do a bit of an hour's worth of work before I even get stuck into meal one. So this is why my wake up is always 5:30, 5:45 latest. So I get time to do so and then eat my meal one at 7:30 every single day. So a little bit of a tip for you guys if you are a busy online coach or busy in general. You need to prioritize the tasks and get the job done efficiently and effectively. Right guys, so this is how meal number one presents, and I will give you the macro breakdown for this meal in a little bit. But 3 whole eggs, 150 egg whites, 75 veg, 35 grams of ISO Pro, 150 blueberries, and 100 chocolate orange cream of rice. Cream of rice is super easy to make. I will show you a tutorial in a little bit as well. All you need is a whisk, water, and a big ass bowl. Super easy to do, and I think a lot of people get it wrong because they don't have much common sense. So I do apologize if I offend anyone, but that is a fact. So I'm gonna get stuck into this, watch a little bit of YouTube, chill, have 5 minutes alone with no client phone, and then get back to my chores and get back to work. Right, so meal number one, and this is definitely one of my favorite meals of all time. And this is probably the reason why I've had it for such a long time, especially on training days. On rest day, you will see a rest day diet very soon. That will be coming next, and a bit of a day in life, but definitely hits the spot. Eventually, when food gets a little bit higher, I may even add some bread. The reason why I don't have bread personally at the moment, post-show, hunger levels are pretty high, manageable, but pretty high. A lot of people, this is where they do go off track and give in to the appetite. I do not, because I think of the bigger picture, and I want a long off season. In order to have a long off season, you have to protect your appetite. Now, when food gets higher, I will introduce bread. The reason why I don't have bread at the moment is because it makes me so hungry. I just would rather not have it. And that's the biggest thing that I always do, is I always remove the foods when I'm hungry that drive my hunger the highest. I still keep some foods that I enjoy, obviously cream of rice, oats, rice, potatoes, variety of fruit, veggies, eggs. So food is very balanced and very varied, but there's certain foods that I don't have specifically for that reason. And it's all good and well incorporating all these foods that you like into your diet, but if something is driving your hunger super high and cravings, probably need to remove it. Beautiful. Right guys, top secret to making a fantastic cream of rice. We've got cream of rice here, chocolate orange, one of my favourites. We've got a tiny bit of sweetener, stevia. We've got ground cinnamon. We've got a whisk. So what we are going to do now is get the scale tared, and then I will do 125 grams of cream of rice. So this is going to go in here, all measured out exactly, so that we can get the right consistency. And then once that's done, I will get the water and add that in. Right guys, so we've got the water added. I always use my water because I do kind of count my full volume of fluid across the day. So we've got 130 grams of cream of rice in here for today. And this is actually a 5 gram addition and 5 gram increase from the diet I started post-show. And I will take you through that. So first, you add the cream of rice, trainbygp.com, code KUBA10 to get some discount. Then you add the water with obviously cinnamon on there, and then a little bit of salt that I do have measured out for the day in my little pot. Salt is a great addition, not only for hydration, but it's essential. It's an essential mineral. But it also makes your cream of rice taste much better. So before you even put this in the microwave, you need to stir it with a whisk. Then what you do is you transfer this over to the microwave. Put it on for 2 minutes. Oh, there's my potatoes in there. They just need to come out. Oh, warm. Right. Put this in for 2 minutes. And then take it out, whisk it again, put it back in. So the second I finish meal one, I will have a moment just to relax, and then I will stand straight up, do my morning chores, which is getting my post-workout meal ready, getting my intras ready, and then just getting on top of the little bits that I need to prepare for my training day, or if the rest day for my rest day. So routine is always the same. Eat, do some movement, get straight back to work. So I'm going to show you what I'm preparing for post-workout. Obviously that's the cream of rice in there cooking, with a whisk. Yes, use a whisk, it's the best. Allows you to just get the perfect consistency. And then we have got prawns for my post-workout, which is the protein source. Main reason for that is I tend to have whey twice per day. Anything more than that, I think you can develop an intolerance to any meat source or any food source that you take in too frequently across the day. So I do like to have plenty of variety. So prawns are next for a post-workout meal. And I generally have 30 grams of kimchi as well with my post-workout meal with the prawns. So these are already cooked and peeled and cleaned. So they will go in here. And I actually need to go and stir the cream of rice now. So guys, this is what you do. And again, bear with me. I'm working with one hand. So this is what you need to do. 2 minutes in, give it a good whisk. And then you put it back in for another minute. And then good to go. And just keep going until you get the desired consistency. So I'll show you that. But anyway, back to the post-workout meal. That's going to be prawns, kimchi, that will go all in there. Right guys, so there we have it. 400 grams of prawns and 31 grams of kimchi for my post-workout meal. And I will actually add 10 grams of no-calorie / low-calorie sauce on top of this. And I do actually weigh my sauces out. I have 15 grams of no added sugar ketchup, and then I have 10 grams with this meal, and then I have 25 grams with my pre-workout meal, and 15 grams with my actual meal 2 and 5. So because the sauces are pretty much no calories, it pretty much adds like 6 calories to my day. But it certainly makes the food taste nicer. So I will get the sauce now. Cream of rice, again, stir time number 2 after 2 minutes and 45 seconds. As you can see, consistency is already getting a little bit thicker now. So I'll put that back in for another 45 seconds and then give that a stir again. Again, I don't like it overcooked. I don't feel like it digests too well when it's overcooked. So I always make it super creamy, and then you will see some fantastic culinary skills from it today, for sure. But now I'm going to put some of this curry ketchup on it. It's 5 grams, so it's actually 5 calories, 34 calories per 100 gram. So again, 5 calories per 15 grams. So if I'm doing 10 grams, it's going to be around 3 calories. So as you can see here, guys, got 10 grams of ketchup added, the curry ketchup, added top on prawns, and this is absolutely divine. Right guys, so back to our cream of rice, and this is how it's looking after 1 round of 2.5 minutes and 2 rounds of 45 seconds. So it's probably going to need 1 more round in there, and then job's done. Now whisk is essential because it gives you this little creamy texture, which is exactly what you need for a perfect cream of rice. Obviously you cannot miss any grams, cannot leave any gains on the table. And put this back in, and again another minute, and it should be done. So we'll see. And then once I've done that, I put it in the freezer. So that's cream of rice back out. It won't need another whisk, but it will need another 30 seconds. Where I can see by the sides, it goes a little bit crusty now. So another 30 seconds and it will be absolutely perfect. And then it will go straight in the freezer. So this is the time now. This is how the finished product looks like. And this is perfectly ready cream of rice. So what we're gonna do now, freezer. This is Meg's meal number 1, which is 10 grams of whey, 20 grams of dark chocolate that I actually melt with some water. Then it sets into more of a thicker pudding paste. And underneath she's got cream of rice. So this is Meg's meal number 1. 225 yogurt, 200 grams of berries, 42 grams of cream of rice underneath, 20 grams of dark chocolate melted with 100 grams of water, and put in freezer to let it set like this. Now this is going to go in there for 10 minutes and the job is done. Now all that's left now is just to top it up with a little bit of fruit, which I have 100 grams of strawberries. The main reason I have 100 grams instead of 150 is because I actually like to have an extra 50 grams of fruit for a pre-bed meal because my hunger is very, very high. So if I can keep more satiety pre-bed, it definitely works. So I'll show you all the meals as I go along. And last meal is quite interesting because it does bring a lot of satiety and allows me to have a little bit of sweet, and it's almost like a full-on dessert. So makes prep and makes being hungry super, super easy. Now next, we've got intros to do, so I'll show you what I have for my intro workout. Right guys, so intro workout and pre-workouts. So I actually need to get my pre, but I'm going to show you what I have for my peri-workout nutrition, which is pre, intra, and then post-workout, which is the cream of rice and prawns. And obviously I will show you the pre-workout meal as well. But this is the peri-workout nutrition in terms of actual supplementation. So let's get this back to normal weight, where it's 0. And then we've got 30 grams of performance fuel. So 27, we've got to make sure we're accurate, bang on 30 grams. So that is my intra-workout carbohydrates. 31, cheating. No, 30, there we go. So that is my intra-workout carbohydrates, and that has actually stayed consistent throughout my prep. And now into my off season, that will actually work up to around 100 grams over time as my calories go up. Now, pre-workout, I have 20 grams of pumpage. Oh, pardon me. Oh, it's a bit of a spillage. Anyway, with the pumpage, I actually have 600 mils of water to make sure that hydration is on point. So I have my creatine and glutamine with it as well, because creatine and glutamine both aid in hydration. Creatine has got over 700 clinical studies proving how effective it is and what it does for you. So anyone who isn't using creatine should be, in my opinion. 22 grams of pumpage will go down, and then I will have 22 grams of MPS into this bit of water, which I drink in one mid-session. But I'm operating with one hand, guys, so I will have to leave you to it. And then 5 grams of creatine, 5 grams of glutamine, which I have every single morning, and pre-workout. Again, creatine, massive benefits with performance, cognitive function, and hydration. The same with glutamine, aids in obviously gastric emptying and health, improves recovery, improves hydration. So it's a win-win, and all these supplements, I think, are essential if you are looking to maximize your performance and recovery. Now, code KUBA10 gets you some discount on these, and that is my Intra workout stack. So let's get it. So here we go, peri-workout nutrition, part 1. We've got my post-workout meal, we've got my pre-workout, and we've got my intras. Now, the only thing that's missing is the pre-workout meal, which I will show you in a little bit. But as a reiteration, this was 125 grams of kimchi rice, now it's 130, 400 grams of prawns and 30 grams of kimchi. So slight increase in protein post-show, which I will get into in a little bit as to why and how. But now, all my chores are done, all stuff's ready. Now I'm going to go back upstairs and work. So work block number 2, about to go down. One thing both myself and Meg pride ourselves in is the service that we deliver for our clients. And I think a lot of it is very much dictated by our routine and the way we set our days up. And secondly, setting up a perfect workstation, in my opinion, makes a massive difference. So this is my place where I sit down and I pretty much get in the work mode, which I think is a super essential. I think a lot of people try to do work in little bits and bats, doing in random places. I think it always helps to have a designated place that you can sit down, focus, no distractions, just work and get after it. So guys, time to get back to my client work, get back to check-ins. I've got 15 more check-ins to do, which will probably take about 2 hours-ish. So time to get to it. See you on the other side. Right, part 1 of making meal number 2. So we've got 350 potatoes. As a reference point, this was 200 grams in my initial post-diet phase. I'm now 3 weeks post-show almost, and I have had to take 1 food increase because the body weight wasn't moving up. So always, firstly, semi-boil the potatoes in microwave, as I did earlier, then dry them, put them in the pan, sear them a little bit, and then put them in the air fryer. We've got veg here, and then we've got venison here that I'm going to put on the pan in a moment. Right, so we've got potatoes in the air fryer, 180 degrees for 17 minutes, and then the venison steak is going to be done in around 4 minutes. So 2 minutes each side, and it makes it nice and blue in the middle, which is what I love. Now, key is making sure that you get it out of the fridge, keep it at room temperature for a little while, and then usual jobs for the day is getting the rice out, weigh it out. So that's my rice for the day, weigh to the gram. I still weigh it out because I do have a little bit of rice on meal 2 and on meal 5, so I want to make sure that my weights are pretty accurate for those, because the weights will change meal to meal. So we've got 200 grams of raw weight rice, and again, I can make the 200 grams of raw weight rice cooked, end up weighing either 500 or 800 grams. So this is why I always do raw weights, because it's just so much more accurate, both with the meat and with the carbs, especially when it comes to your rice and potatoes. So 826 grams divided by 20 will give me 10 gram portions, and then I'll know exactly what I need to use for my 125 gram portion, which I would times by 12.5, or my 25 gram portion, which I would times by 2.5. So as a reference point, 825 grams of rice divided by 20, 41.25, which is my 10 gram portion. And then I'll do that times by 2.5, 103 grams, 0.1 for my meal 2. And then divide that by, so I'll do that again, 825 grams divided by 20 equals 41.25, and then times that by 12.5, which is my pre-workout meal, which will be 515 grams, 0.6, so 516 grams. So, to most people, might not be that, that important, but for me it is, because if I'm not accurate with these meals or carb intakes, it could change my intake by about 200, 300, 400 calories per day. So I prefer to always be as accurate as I can and do the raw weights. Good morning, Eamon. Thank you so much for sending me over the check-in. Now, the biggest thing that we need to make sure we do is get in true contest condition this year, whilst maintaining all the new muscle size that you've actually built. So from this week, I would actually like to send me pictures over on your secondary check-in per week. So from now on, you'll be checking as usual today, with obviously pictures, body weight and full lowdown of the check-in. But your secondary check-in, I will actually want to run on Friday, fasted when you wake up, screenshot of the daily tracker and pictures, obviously as normal, posing. Now, every single check-in that you send me through now, I would like a posing video as well, holding each pose for 5 seconds, as well as pictures. That'd be amazing. And in terms of an in-person check-in this week, yes, absolutely, bud. You can come to my house, do an in-person check-in, or we can do it at the gym. Just let me know what dates you are landing over from Ireland, and you are more than welcome to come round. 4th of August, bud, I think we're cutting it fine for 4th of August, to be honest. If we're ready around that time to get some posing practice, yes, but ultimately, bud, we've set a goal to be ready in 7 weeks and 4 days, which is end of August, right? So I don't think it's worthwhile trying to rush things, especially given how much more muscle you actually have right now. It would definitely be a detriment. So just cracking on with the feedback for the clients. I've got a substantial amount of clients, substantial numbers of clients competing this year. So it's a little bit intense, but that's just what we love to do. Now, generally, what I do with check-ins, I have everyone listed out. I review the pictures first thing in the morning. Then I go back to the feedback as well. So a lot of guys are checking bi-weekly now. Some guys are checking every day. Some guys are checking every other day. So the level of attention is definitely much higher at this point within the season. It's the same for me and Meg. So I'll get back to this now. Then we'll show meal number 2. So let's get it. We can get that arranged. But looking at some of these shots, bud, we're definitely on track where I need to be. Just need to make sure we get back on with the fat loss and keep things on track now. We've had a few weeks where things have stalled just a little bit. So just need to make sure we crack on now. Right, my guys, so meal number 2, 350 grams of potatoes, 25 grams of rice, 90 grams of veg total, kimchi and green veg and mushroom, 250 grams of venison steak, 100 grams of pineapple. So this is how your venison should always look. It should be nice and red in the middle, just like this. That is perfect. Now, I'm going to get stuck into this, get this eaten, and then time for my chiropractor appointment. So it's 10 to 9, it's actually 10 o'clock, running 10 minutes late. Normally I eat this like 9:45, 10 to 9, but today we have had a bit of a busier day, so we've got a bit of a slip up. Now, as a reference point, this was 200 grams of potatoes before my food increase. So I will show you macros for my first initial steps post-diet, and then what I'm actually running right now as well. So here we go, pre-workout meal number 3. So this is 200 grams of chicken, 70 grams of veg, which is just mushrooms and peppers. The digest is super easy. And as always, I put my food on the pan just to make it taste so much better. Today you might actually get to see a treat, because I'm not sure if the wife wants pancakes or she wants a normal meal. If she wants pancakes, then I'll make the pancakes. So we'll just have to suss out what she wants. I've got a normal meal ready in the fridge just in case. One tip, if you are using oats, make them early on in the day, put them in the fridge, and if you let your oats just soak in the water, they actually digest much better. Now another tip, get your oats, blend them into rice flour so it's thinner. This also makes them digest much better. So if you are a fan of oats and you find that sometimes they can sit a little bit heavy, make sure that you use these tips. Now, another tip for you guys that are not as proficient in your colouring skills as I am, make sure you always wash your pan when it's warm. Much easier to wash, and you actually get much more longevity out of your pan this way as well. What are you having your two?
In a minute. I'm going to make it in a minute.
Which one are you having? Just rice and meat? What are you having?
Salmon meal.
Okay. Right guys, so we've got some low calorie teriyaki on top of my 125 rice. As always, the sauce is weighed out. We've got 15 grams of sauce, a little bit less, not needed as much. 100 grams of pineapple, 100 grams of banana, and we've got 22 grams of pumpage, 5 grams of creatine, 5 grams of glutamine in here with 600 mils of water. So that is the pre-workout meal gone down. I have just had my caffeine as well. Now, generally, I actually take in my caffeine probably around, I would say, an hour and a half before I train. This way, I feel like a consistent level of energy, and I don't feel like it impacts my sleep as well. So my sleep quality has been better as well in doing so. And my caffeine intake is already back down to just 180 milligrams pre-workout on training days only, which is literally 3 shots of espresso from the coffee machine that Andy and Linda bought us. So all the tips for you guys today. So my guys, we are on the way down to the gym now, and I am very much looking forward to getting stuck into the session. I will maybe get some clips for you just to see some highlights of what I did, but we'll see. Today's session is my push B, I believe, which is going to start with shoulder work as always, as you can never be wide enough, so that is always my preference. Then a high incline press followed by flat press. Actually, shoulder work and then cable fly, incline cable fly, followed by a high incline shoulder press and Smith. Again, I love the Smith so much, so it's not the most optimal exercise, but for me, it's a movement that I can progress for months and months on end and progress it safely. So it's definitely one of my top choices. And if I had to pick just a very few things to go in a private gym, it would be a Smith machine, a cable stack, probably like a multi-functional one, a rack, a deadlift platform, and potentially a good row. That would probably cover me for majority of the work, and obviously just like a leg extension and leg curl, obviously, just for the isolation work. But obviously bars, some plates and dumbbells, that'd be ideal. But I'm definitely up for the session, even though sleep was terrible last night on night before, because I'm sleeping next to someone that just keeps snoring and then just not moving, which is extremely frustrating. She will probably get punched tonight very hard if she doesn't move or stop snoring. So yeah, either way, we're going to go in and we're going to have a tremendous session. That's not going to change. So what are you going to do now?
I've got to go to Magna.
Magna? What for?
To meet this lady.
What, for the client meeting?
Yeah.
So we've got a client meeting in just a week's time. It's going to be huge. We've got over 200 people in attendance. How many people are coming now?
250.
250. So we've got 250 people coming this year for our yearly seminar.
Last year was 125.
Last year we had 225 people. This year 125. So double numbers from last year, which is amazing. So guys, if you still want to come, you can sign up. If you go onto Team MK Coaching page on Instagram, go on highlights, there's a link that you can sign up to and pay to attend. We have opened some spaces for non-clients now, just because of the effort that we're putting into it, so it'll be class. Right, session time, let's get it. Right guys, so game time. Session's about to go down. Got my Intra, So I'm going to warm up like I always do. One set of core work, pullovers, 2 sets, just blood flowing to the lats. Then we'll start with a Y raise, set of rear delts, incline cable fly, high incline Smith, flat press, followed by dips, an overhead extension, back onto laterals, and a press up. So, game time. Right guys, so we're about to get going now. Warm-up work is done. It takes me about 5 minutes, I'll be honest. At the moment, I'm doing a couple of sets of planks, 1 set of cable crunch, 2 sets of pullovers, and that, all in all, literally takes me 5 minutes. So that is pretty much the prehab work, which is pretty much nothing. And my aim is to get as warm as possible, as quick as possible, so I'm fresh for my sets. So exercise number 1, we're actually on a lion cuff lateral. The single arm variation is great, but I feel like when I'm bracing into something, I should get more output. And the goal right now is maximum stimulus. The single arm RAs, I will incorporate in if I have a shoulder niggle that I need to work around or work through to improve some of the shoulder stability. But again, I never really do get injuries anymore, thankfully, touch wood. So guys, set number 1, I'll show you the highlights. Today's obviously a full vlog, full day of eating, etc. But you'll still get to see some highlights from training, as always. I've got you. Get massive, load on the stretch. Let's get it. So we've just got this press come today from my friend Tiago in Portugal. That's his brand, and it's just like the flat flakes leverage, which is amazing. So I'm a big fan. Thank you, Tiago, much appreciated. Now I've done my top set with 3 plates for 7. That's my baseline number set. Back off set with 2 plates. Try and get above 10 reps here now. So game time. Beautiful. Game time. So my favourite exercise of all time, the dip. Dip, any variation will do the job. So just do your dips. Okay, right. Oh, that was absolutely horrible. So final exercise of the day, guys. That was the highlight of the session. So a bit of a recap on what we did. Lying cuffed Y raise, lying cuff lateral, 2 working sets followed by 1 working set of rear fly, 2 working sets of cable incline fly, 2 working sets of high incline Smith machine press, 2 sets of flat machine press, 2 sets of dips. Then we had 3 sets of a cable JM press, 3 sets of standing machine laterals, 2 sets of calf, and 1 set of press up. So that is the highlight of the session. Now, the volume for me in these sessions is still relatively lowish. So I do have scope to actually increase the volume if it's needed over time through potentially 3 additional sets, maybe 4 over time as food increases, as supplementation goes in. And as I start the push-up phase, there will potentially be the opportunity to actually increase the volume. But for now, this is a perfect spot for where I am so soon post-show. And as you can see, condition-wise, my glutes are still in. The look isn't quite as hard as it was in prep because of the influence of supplementation. But apart from that, I think condition-wise, this is the best I've ever been at this body weight and the best I've ever been all in all. This short period post-show has definitely already been quite productive. And I do feel like the way I can manage post-show now with my adherence and not overdoing it, keeping my body fat levels in check, sets me up for a perfect gaining phase that will allow me to stay in a surplus for the next 34 weeks, slowly gaining over that time. So that's my goal, is to stay in a surplus for the next 34 weeks, then hit a maintenance phase, and then potentially even a prep or a mini cut, depending on how much muscle I add. But again, that's the vision for the future. I'll touch a little bit more on that in a separate video as well. But guys, let's get stuck into the post-workout meal. Let's get it. Right guys, so that session wrapped up. Definitely a productive one. I will go into more detail on how the session went and my thoughts in the car, but first I am going to show you a post-workout meal. I've already seen it, but can't miss it. We've got 400 grams of prawns, 30 grams of kimchi, 130 gram of rice, and again this was 125 before, and I've got 100 grams of strawberries. Normally I have 150 here, but I do save 50 grams of the fruit to add to my last meal, because generally, for some reason, that's where I actually get super hungry before bed and during the night. Just pretty normal post-show, but for now, it's very manageable, to be honest. I quite enjoy hunger, and I enjoy the discipline it takes to stay committed, and discipline it takes to not eat above and beyond your needs. I always stress to clients, it's super important to actually eat to your needs, not to your appetite. If I was to eat to my appetite, I would be a 300-pound bodybuilder, but super fat. Now, first things first, reply to the clients. As always, priority, straight post-workout, and then game time. So yes, so as promised, post-workout meal. We've got 400 prawns for kimchi. Beautiful. Alright guys, so that's post-workout devoured. Absolute tremendous meal, to be honest. Now, 6 minutes on some bed. Keep the skin glowing, keep the tan, and then home time. Gentlemen, time has come for our meals number 5. We've got Meg's pancake ready here. We've got all the Trained by JP health sups ready to get put in the containers. And we've got my meal number 5, which will go in the pan. So, I obviously cook deliciousness for Meg. And it works both ways because she does help me out a lot, but I like to actually make her food pretty delicious. That's one way of me showing my affection, as I would like to call it. So that's her French toast that I'm getting ready for tomorrow. I generally like to season it just a little bit. And what I've been doing lately is soaking this in a little bit of egg whites. We use Dash, which is no salt added seasoning, and it's actually really good because it's generally just peppers and just stuff that doesn't really make you bloat and doesn't give digestive issues. So for her French toast, we've got 60 grams of egg whites, and then we actually have got rest of egg whites in a bowl with some veg that will go on the pancake, sorry, not pancake, but an omelette. But generally, I sometimes do this in the pan, but I do find that putting these in air fryer actually gives her a little bit of different texture. So I like to mix and match things up for her, just so it doesn't ever get boring. As that way, she can enjoy her food and still have variety of similar meals, just different ways of cooking them to make them even nicer. This way, she gets to have her food that is on the plan, but without actually coming off track. So that's going to go in the fridge, ready for tomorrow. We have got her omelette here that we'll put on the other pan whilst I'm just getting this ready. And then I will show you the finished products, guys, but Meg will probably do a bit of vlogging just to show you how I prepare the deliciousness all around. I am somewhat of a self-proclaimed bodybuilding master chef. And the main reason that I can cook well is, one, I enjoy it, and I am a fat child. So what I mean by that is, I love food. And as a bodybuilder, if you love food, and you know you're always going to be hungry, which I always am hungry, you need to make sure that you stay sane and enjoy the process even more through putting effort into your cooking. I cannot stress how important that actually is, guys. You have to put effort into all your dishes. If you want longevity and enjoyment in the sport, this is why you'll always see me knock up some very, very nice, tasty meals for both myself and Meg. And this way, I get to stay fully on track. I hit all my goals, and I really, really enjoy my food. And this is why you don't see me eat off plan very often as well, because I do put a lot of effort into my food, and I do like to make it taste good. So when I go out for food, often it is a little bit of a disappointment because it's just never as good as I can make it. Apart from Edo, Roku's amazing. Big shout out to Tomo. We will be visiting probably in a couple of weeks' time. But for now, we have to stick to the baseline foods. Well, not that we have to, but I really enjoy doing so. So I don't really like to venture out too much. Maybe post bodybuilding, I will. But whilst I'm locked in and I'm enjoying the process like this, I'll stick to doing what gives me a lot of enjoyment. Now, some of you might be thinking, why is he so sweaty? I've just come out of a red hot bath. So post-training, I always have a red hot bath. And then what I actually do when I come out, I add some additional hot water in so that Meg can actually jump in and have a roasting bath. So one tip I can give you guys, put your food on the pan and mix it together. I like to almost create a little bit of a fried rice with my veg, my meat, and my rice with my meals. This way, it not only goes down easier when food gets higher, but even when food is low, it's super tasty and nothing wrong with it. So I'll show you the finished product in a moment and then I'll cover the session in detail. Right guys, so that is the finished product. We've got my 125 grams of veggies, 50 grams of rice, 125 grams of turkey, and 125 grams of wild salmon. Wild salmon again, lower in fat, higher in omega-3s, and higher in protein actually. And then Meg's got her omelette, 2 whole eggs, 150 grams of sourdough, and she will have 50 grams of blueberries. So that is meal 5 going down. Right, what is up my guys? So I wanted to give you a little bit of a macro breakdown, just so you've got a full idea of what I am actually currently eating in detail and in depth. If you look in the description as well, I have put full macro breakdown on there too, so you know exactly what I am eating. But I wanted to go over exactly what the meal structure is looking like at the moment. So meal plan change number 1 is in place right now. So previous plan was 200 calories less on training day, which that will have took me to 4,346 calories, and that will have been 414 grams of protein, 545 grams of carbs, 55 grams of fat. Rest day, it was 340 grams of carbohydrates, 480 grams of protein, 57 grams of fat, and 3,440 calories, I believe. So now it is a little bit increased. So today's diet was 419 grams of protein, 595 grams of carbs, 55 fat, 4,546 calories. And then rest days, 3,667 calories, 408 protein, 381 carb, 57 fat. Now, meals as follows in terms of the macro breakdown and everything else for you. So meal number 1 was 75 grams of protein, 95 grams of carbs, 0.9, 15.3 grams of fat, that's 839 calories. Meal number 2, 69 grams of protein, 95 grams of carbs, 3.8 fat, 690 calories all in. Pre-workout meal, 59 grams of protein, 128 carb, 3.4 fat, 777 calories. And then intra, 9 grams of protein, but it's a little bit more. 38 grams of carbs and 185 calories. Now, post-workout meal, 792 calories, 74 grams of protein, 112 grams of carbs, 4.2 fat. And again, that's just fat from prawns, which I don't really think there's any fat in there. I'll be honest with you guys. And then meal number 5 that I've just had was 65 grams of protein, 45 grams of carbs, 7 grams of fats, and 496 calories. Now, last meal of the day, which is probably one of my favorite, to be honest, I really like all the meals, but I do really like the last meal. I might do the creamy today for the vlog. What do you think? Yeah, I might do. Might have to. So, the last meal for the day will be 30 grams of whey, 300 grams of Greek yogurt, 75 grams of cream of rice, and actually mix my cream of rice with oats, just to give it a little bit of a thicker texture and a bit more fiber. 10 grams of almond butter, 25 grams of avocado, again, prioritizing polyunsaturated fats, and 200 grams of fruit. Like I said earlier, I do save 50 grams of fruit for my last meal, just for more satiety. So that will be 716 calories, 69 grams of protein, 84 carbs, and 12 grams of fats. Now, additionally, I take in 5 grams of fat in the morning and 5 grams of fat in the evening from Omega Pharma Pro. So I do include that into my total daily intake, and that is a total of 90 calories and 10 grams of fats coming from Omega Pharma Pro. The main reason for that is, guys, the benefits of high omegas when it comes to not only your lipid profile, but your health in general. I feel like my skin's better. There is actually research that supports that from a mental health standpoint, high omega-3 intake actually improves your mental health in various different ways. So it's a win-win situation, right? You've got better blood work, you feel better, you perform better, and it's probably the highest quality fat source you can get in. If I was trying to get that much omega-3 quality from salmon, for example, one, I would have to eat wild salmon. Normal farm salmon doesn't actually have much quality omega. And two, it would take crazy amounts of salmon per day. It just would not be realistic to be able to get that much quality in. So I highly advise using Omega Pharma Pro. Obviously, code KUBA10 from Trained by JP, and it is the highest quality omega that you can actually take in as well. It's got a pharmaceutical ingredient in it, and when it's a patented ingredient, by law, it has to be what it says in the tin. When supplements don't have patented ingredients, the quality varies up and down. So, right, guys, see you for meal number 6. Time has come for me to chill on the sofa with Smeg and switch off for the day. I'm just going to reply to a few more clients now. We've got Andrew and Susie, both pros, competing this weekend. So that will be ideal. That is going to be Andrew's second show with me. And to be honest, super happy. The package that he's brought is tremendous. And to be honest, Susie looks incredible as well. She has made so many improvements. She looks like a legit bikini pro now with the improvements she's made. So very happy with that. So I will show you more on the athletes as well. And I actually had 3 athletes compete this weekend. It was Andrew. He was just outside the top 10 in 2-on-2 Kraus. Danny did her pro debut in wellness. We had Victoria and Gabka both doing the figure shows. So I'm going to have to do a bit of a write-up tomorrow, actually today probably, and post about them as well. So that'll be fun. But yeah, guys, peace out for now. I'm going to go and chill. We're going to watch Ghost. Comment below, let me know what series you're actually currently watching. We've just finished Bridgerton's. I loved it. It was amazing. Now we are on to Ghost. After Ghost, I think we're going to have to watch Vikings of Valhalla. Oh, is there something else? The Boys, actually. After Ghost, it will be The Boys and then Vikings of Valhalla. We've still got a list to make. We're going to make that when you come back down. A list of the series that we're going to watch. So I'll share that with you next time. Yeah, see you for meal number 6. Right, so here we have Meg's pancake, which is, so far, it's 100 grams of egg whites, 100 grams of yogurt, and we have got 10 grams of less of oats because I added 150 grams of pumpkin to match the macros, just to give a little bit more texture to it and make it a little bit thicker. Actually, no, there's no pumpkin in this. There's actually 150 grams of yogurt. And a little bit of baking powder, a little bit of salt. And so far, I think they come out tremendous. So what I am going to do, she has got 200 grams of fruit here. I am going to place some fruit on top of these right now, whilst it's cooking. And then some of it is going to go on top as well. She does have her dark chocolate on top of these as well, just so it melts. Now, on top of this, she didn't want a Ninja Creamy, so she will just have a whey paste that will go on top of it, I think. The Ninja Creamy might be a little bit too full. Thought so. So that's her pancake stacks. And I think it's been going out pretty well, hasn't it? Yeah, so just egg whites, yogurt, cream of rice. She's got strawberry in this today. A little bit of sweetener and oats. And that's the end product. So it's worked out pretty perfect. We've got some of these that are already made. I think she's going to be pretty happy with them, to be honest. So, yeah. And then I have got my oats and cream of rice in here that I will do in the pan. Just preference. And then I'm going to do, I'm not sure if I'm going to do creamy yet. Should I do creamy? Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I'll see how I feel when I made this, as I've still got 20 minutes to eat my meal 6. So I'll get this one for Meg. I'll prepare the rest of my bits, and then I'll show you the rest of the setup for the last meal. And I'll put podcast back on.
Constantly keep
Right, my guys, so that's Meg's pancake stacks almost done. We just need to get this transferred over onto the plate. Voila, job done. Now, I will wash the pan while it's hot so that I can get all the crap off it pretty quickly. Right, that still needs washing. Anyway, I am going to have a Ninja Creamy today because I do want to show you what I have. And let me just stir this up first. Right guys, so the reason why it was a stove is just gives you a lot of different consistency. And Meg has actually bought these cool stoves that are non-stick pans. Well, yeah, pans that are non-stick. But anyway, today I'll have an Ninja Cream with this. So I have got 30 grams of whey isolate, and I think it's the banana flavor today, mixed with 75 grams to be exact, of yogurt. And what I do is I mix it, I put it in freezer, let it freeze, and then on top I put my 25 grams of avocado, and today we have 30 grams of banana, which I will retract from the berry amount I normally have. Now, this just needs a good stir up. So the reason why I'm still using a creamy is just more satiety. I do get quite hungry pre-bed. So for me, just makes sense to have a little bit more volume in this last meal so I can sleep well. And again, just a mixture of carbs, protein, and some fats does the job for that. All in all, I think the last meal is about 700 calories, as I said earlier. That makes me look at that. That is fantastic, isn't it? You're looking forward to it. Yeah, that's great. Now we're going to put some calorie-free, sugar-free syrup on there. Some cinnamon? Do you know one? No? Okay, just cinnamon it is then. Just cinnamon it is. So there we go. I've made it. Now, key for these pancakes as well, to not make them super dry, is I never flip them. As soon as they start bubbling up, and as soon as you see that layer come up, that's when you know they're completely ready. So I would never ever advise you flipping them, because you will just dry them off and it's just not very nice. So this is apple pie cream of rice, which is just fantastic. Very much looking forward to this. Now, I'm not sure if to have my almond butter inside my creamy. I'm probably going to put it in my creamy just to make it a little bit more bougie. Now, let this boil for a little bit longer, and then Meg, get a close-up in the creamy just so viewers can see how it's looking. And then what we are going to do is measure out some almond butter into my creamy. We've got my avocado that I've just had. Now, most accurate way to get your weighings is always do this. This way you get the most accuracy. Boom. So we've got 10 grams of almond butter that's been added onto the creamy, and then put that into the creamy and make it creamy. Now what I do with this, I put it on the light ice setting twice, and then probably a respin as well. I think this is ready, almost. Right, my guys and girls. So we've got 30 grams of whey isolate here, 10 grams of almond butter, 25 grams of avocado, 30 grams of banana, and then we've got 160 strawberries, 225 fat-free Greek yogurt, we've got a skier, and then we've got 35 grams of cream of rice and 35 grams of, it's actually apple pie today, which is epic, and 35 grams of oats. So I will enjoy this meal and then head to bed. Bit of taste test. That is a perfect creamy. Those are asking, guys, light ice cream times 2. And it's perfect. Beautiful. Good night. Please subscribe, like. Full breakdown in the description. See you again soon, guys. Take care and peace out.